Hello and welcome to GoEdit Graphics. My name is Matt. I'm looking forward to walking you through our platform today and hopefully making you more comfortable and more capable with all of the features and everything you can do within our platform, and hopefully you can become very efficient. Our whole idea of our platform is that you can get in and get out making graphics very quickly, create high quality stuff that your community can enjoy and not have to spend lots of time creating. So the first thing we're going to do, you're going to start off on our website, and you're obviously going to go right up to log in for the first time. That's going to take you to our login area, and you're going to put in your credentials here that you've got for your specific school. Once you're signed in, the first thing we're going to do before we look at any of this is we want to set up our team info up in the top right hand corner. The reason we want to do this is because when we go here, we can put in the name of our school and that kind of information, but most importantly, we can set up our team colors. The reason team colors are so important is because after we set our team colors, every time we open a template to edit it, it's going to automatically change the template to match our colors that we've put in, saving us a lot of time from having to every single time put in our school colors. So very important to get this put in to start with. I'm going to just do some colors here right off the bat. You can see how easy it is. You're just kind of going, picking a color. Once you get it where you want right here, you can just click out, and there it is. I'm going to do like a dark gray here for there. And then I like to do whites and grays for these last two, and the reason is because usually these are what your texts are going to be. And so usually your text is either going to be white or black in most things. And obviously you can change all this once you get in. So this doesn't have to be the final look of your template, but it's a good starting place so you don't have to spend a lot of time doing this every time. One thing I will note is we do have the ability to put in your hex code here. So if you have your school colors like from your website or your logo that you want to put in here, you can probably get that from somebody on campus that handles your website or logos or graphic design, that type of stuff for your school. They'll have access to this, and you can put the exact colors in for your school, which is really cool. So once I kind of have some colors picked that I like, I'm going to hit OK or save here. And then after I hit save, I'm going to go back to my dashboard, which is up here at the top, and that's going to take me right into all of the main area of my templates. And you'll notice here when I get to this point, you have two different options. You've got templates. These are templates, some of the newer ones that have been created, and you have your designs. And this is all your stuff you've created. And this brings you to a very important part, which is we've got some different type of templates here. We've got some sports, but we also have a fine arts template. So one of the things you're going to want to do as you first get going is if you've got multiple areas of your school that are going to use this, especially if you got our all school package, you may have some administrative, you may have some fine arts, you may have some athletics, some different types of templates. And the way that you're going to create some folders to start with is you're going to go back to GoEdit, which takes you back to your very opening screen here. And this is where you can set up folders. And folders is really nice because that allows you to go right to your templates for your area of the school and not get all mixed in with the different parts. So right now we've just got a default. That's just going to be anything you've created and didn't give a category to. But I've got fine arts here. I'm going to go ahead and create, let's say our basketball team has their own, let's say boys basketball actually, so we can get even more precise, has their own templates they want to create. So now I've got two categories. I can create as many of those as I want. I could have 20 different folders here if I want. Now that I've done that, I'm going to go back to my dashboard. A lot of people think when they first log in, oh, okay, here's my templates, here's this. So I just scroll this way. Well, you can do that, but you're also going to want to be able to go to all the different categories. So if you hit view all templates up here, this is going to take you to the area of all the templates. So we have all school at the top. These are just going to be school templates that can be used for all different types of communication on campus. And then we have a lot of different sports categories that are more specific. So we've got, committed, offered. This could be for any kind of athlete or somebody that gets a scholarship, any type of committed graphic. A lot of these are sports, but some of them are more general for just anybody that's signed with anything. Could be scholarships, academic, athletic, fine arts, anything. And then we got communication. That's going to be just different types of things. You saw some 4th of July there, coaches hiring, teacher hirings, lineups, brackets, all sorts of different stuff that you can get communication out about. And then we have our fine arts ones. And in here, you're going to continuously see different fine arts stuff or awards for fine arts, things that they've done. We've got game day for sports, player profiles, player spotlights for an athlete that did something extraordinary. We've got schedules for athletics, and they can be used for all sorts of different stuff. And we have scoring templates as well that can be used for, halftime or a full game, getting the score out to your community and fans. We can also click on any of these categories, and that'll go even more in depth. So let's say we wanted to do communication. I can click view all, and there's some I can hit load more. And so you've got the ability. I can go back, obviously. I can do a different category. Same thing. Go into different sets of categories and look at the options. So now let's actually go into a template and take a look at how you do some of the editing. So I'm going to go into our categories here, and I'm going to go down and pick one. And so I can scroll back and forth, find one I want. And when I do, I'm going to hit this little hand, and you're going to see that it's going to pop up and say select folder. So here I can pick a folder that I want to put it in. I'm going to say football here, and I'm going to hit the check mark, which is going to take me into the template. You're going to see this load screen come up, and then our template has now loaded. So now you can see that our template is loaded and our graphic loaded with the colors that I had pre-selected earlier. Now, if I said, oh, I don't like that, that's too much yellow, I can always come in here and change the look of it. So I could do, the gray as the main color and then change that yellow as the secondary color if I wanted to do that. And I actually do like that look a little more. So sometimes you may have to play with your template a little bit and get it right where you want it. But that's a good look. I'm going to go with that. I do not like this black you can see here. Let's say I wanted that to be a little brighter because I'm doing a dark color on the beginning. That's an easy fix. I come over here and change it to white. Now my colors are set the way I want for this template. So let's go through just the basics of how to make changes to a template and get it where you want it. The first thing we're going to talk about is text. Up here in the upper right hand corner, I can see my images. It says images. I can see text. There's text. All of my text that's on this template is over here on the right, and I can also change the size right here next to it. If I click up, it gets larger, and you can see that happening over here. If I click this way, it gets smaller. So I can change that easily by erasing it and writing in anything I want. So I could say new hire. Let's do it in all caps. And I could change this to whatever I wanted. Let's change the name to, I don't know. And I could also change my school and this. We also like to put some hashtags on here. Obviously, if you don't want the text, you can always just delete it and then nothing's there. But we give you some options, just give you some ideas. So that could be a website. It could be a hashtag for the school that means something. It could be a Twitter account. So now that we've changed our text, I'm actually going to put this as just school.com. So now that we've changed our text, the next thing we can do is we can add and change an image. The image right here can be moved around. Obviously, this is just the one that came with the template, so you're going to want to put in your own. So once you can either click on the image or you can click on it when it's up here. Here's our two options. We've got our logo up here and we have our image up here. I'm going to replace. You can view it. That's just going to bring it to the front so you can see what it looks like. And I can click the arrow up here, the little back arrow, and that'll put it back where it goes. And I can replace it. So when I hit replace, it's going to bring up just a window that you would be used to in any other program to bring in an image. I can drag it here or I can select from my computer. I'm going to click to select, and I'm just going to put in another image that I already have brought in. Here it is. And then you'll see that image has loaded now. Now, if I wanted to, I can move it around, get it where I want. If it's not big enough, you'll see here it just barely fits. So I want to make it a little bigger. So I can click on the image, I can drag it out and make it fit however I'd like. If it was a little off, I could rotate it a little if I wanted to. I could make it smaller from the corners. I can also make it smaller this way, but it's going to squish your image. So we don't recommend doing that. If you had to do it, you could. Now that I've done that, I'm actually going to go down here and use my back button to make it normal again. But normally, you're going to pull from the corners and then just pull it where you want it and then set it. And then there's my image. Looks nice right there. And there's my image. Now I can also go back in and I can change my logo. So let's say that I had a different logo I wanted to bring in. I can click on the logo and bring it in. If you have a PNG logo, which is what we recommend, it will have transparency with it. And so your transparency, this one actually is in a cool spot because you'll see that it kind of comes in behind here, and that's the way the template's built. But what's really cool is we have it to where it kind of slides in up here in the corner, so it looks very custom. And so you can put your logo in up there, and then now I've got my logo where I want it. If you didn't want a logo at all, you could obviously just delete the logo on your keyboard, and that would get rid of it altogether, or you could drag it off like that. But we're actually going to use it here, so it's going to go there. But let's say that I said, you know, I want more of a cursive font here, or let's say that I need some additional text, or whatever it is. There's other options you can have with your template. So let's say that I didn't like this Bobby Taylor font. I wanted something different. I can go over to text, go to Bobby Taylor, and you'll notice these little 2 lines going either direction. If I hit this, it's going to take me into the options for just this text. And inside here, I can actually change the font to different fonts. There's tons of different fonts in here to choose from. So let's say I wanted something different. I can change the spacing, and you'll have to play with the spacing a little because of this box only being so big. If I make it too big, it actually goes away because I need to stretch it out more to make it fit. So you'll want to make sure that your text fits inside of the box that it's made, and I can always edit that box now because I've gone into these extra settings. I can actually change the color. So if I wasn't happy with this selected color down here, I could set my own custom color if I wanted, and that's going to completely override this color down here to whatever color I choose. I can put a shadow behind it if I'd like. I can click on shadow and then add some shadow to it, and you can see there it's adding that shadow behind. I can offset it where I want it. So if you wanted to add some shadow behind, I recommend not going crazy with this and just adding subtle. It's the more professional look just to add subtle things. So I could add a little shadow back there, and that looks nice. I can also change the size by clicking up and down. I can make it bold. I can italicize it. All of the options that you would be used to in any word processor type program. I can also change the opacity of it. I don't know why most of the time you wouldn't probably use this, but you could make it more or less see-through. The other additional options are, let's say that I wanted to add more text, or I had a second image or a second logo I wanted to put on. Up in the very top left-hand corner, I have the option to click and add more text. And when you did that, you'll see it added text up here. And I can put that text anywhere I want. Unlike the other text that's set to a certain area on the screen, this text can be put anywhere. So I can drag this window out just like I would in PowerPoint or any other program. Let's say that I wanted it to be right on this line. I want it to be right aligned, so it's right there in that corner. And I wanted to make it, whatever color I wanted, green. And I can put in text here. Text, added text. I could do whatever I wanted. I can pick the font. Everything that we just did before, I can do here. And again, if I just decided I didn't want that, I can always just delete it with my keyboard and it's gone. I can also add another image. So up here, if I wanted to add another image, I can do that. And any image I add is going to be on top of the image. It's not going to go behind like those other ones did that are kind of built into the template. It's just going to go on top. So if I had some other logo I wanted to put somewhere or something, I could do that easily by just adding it. Another great option for adding an extra image is an advertisement. So maybe you have an advertiser that wants to go in a corner, or is going to go on all your templates. You could have an advertiser ready, and you could bring that advertiser in on top of any graphic you wanted, put it in the corner, and it could become a revenue generator for your school, which is a great option. One thing I wanted to mention is the ability to go backwards and forwards and reset. So let's say that I started messing with this image and I kind of moved it over here, and then I wasn't happy with that. I can always undo, and get it back where I had it before. You also have the reset function, which will reset your entire template to the way that it looked previously. And if I hit that, I go all the way back to the way the template looked when I first opened it. That action cannot actually be undone. And so you'll see when I get to this point, now I can't go back. So just be mindful that if you're going to reset your template, that all your changes that you've made, everything's going to be lost. But it is a nice function if you get into a template and you don't like the way it's going and you actually want to just start over, you can hit that to start over. So let's say that I'm happy with the way that this looks. I'm ready to export it. Up in the very top hand corner, one thing you'll note is if you try and back out of this, it's going to tell you, hey, you haven't saved your changes. You're going to lose them. So we always want to hit save at the end. If I hit export, it's going to auto save as well. But let's say you were finished with a template and you weren't going to make any other changes. We always want to save it. The other thing you can do is go to export. And this is going to give you some options for different sizes. I recommend if it's going to go on a screen or on the internet, we want to have one of these higher quality versions. Most of the time, we're going to be selecting these higher quality versions if it's going to go on any type of screen. The smaller ones, maybe for some kind of thumbnail or something that's going to be printed out on a piece of paper or smaller, you could get away with. But we usually want to go with the higher resolution. I'm going to go with the highest here. I'm going to hit export. It's going to save that file down here below, and it will show up on your computer as a JPEG image just like any other image. And there is your template saved out in high quality. Looks really good. The other option I have is to export to social media, and that's going to be up in the upper right. You're going to click there, and you're going to have Facebook and Twitter. We have Instagram that will be released soon as well. And you click in here and you put in your credentials, and that's where you're able to export right to those platforms and send them right there instead of having to save it and then go over to the platform and do it there. So I hope this was helpful for you and you were able to get something out of it. Our platform is aimed to be very simple and easy and give our creators, our schools, something that they can use to have in their back pocket to create some professional looking graphics, highlight their students, highlight their faculty, get things out to their community and families and parents and students at a high level, and create some excitement and some professionalism at the school. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to us, and we are more than happy to help you with any issues you're having as you're creating templates. Good luck and keep on creating. Thanks.